Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Ellithorpe. We're with Tustin Longevity Center here in Tustin, California, Southern California, and our group treats holistically functional medicine, integrative natural medicine, alongside of our standard allopathic training. And we've been doing this, I myself, for about 44 years. We have a boatload of experience, and we are very close with one another. We share our patients' information during our clinic meetings. And so we enjoy just working with our patients. And what we do on this venue here, Ask the Doctor Anything, is you ask a question about a symptom or health, and I will give you my experience doing functional medicine over the past 44 years and beyond. Uh, then this is not meant to be a treatment for you specifically, but it's how I would look at that type of scenario or complaint or question when I'm seeing my patients here. This is not meant to be personal advice. Please see your doctor. If you have a doctor here, please send them a question or make your appointment, follow up with them, and share your questions with them. But we can give general educational answers to symptom complexes and how we think about it and how we would begin to go about addressing it. We meet here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the evening, and we go for an hour. We have two ways for you to get questions. You can go on tlcdoctors.com. That's our web page, our newsletter, and on tlcdoctorsplural.com, tlcdoctors.com. You'll get a notification of this every week. And then what we'll do is send you a link. The link on the notification will then allow you to type in a question so I can get some of these email questions for us to think about and talk about. The other way to do it is if you're on YouTube, you can type in your question live. And I usually answer the live questions first. And so we'll begin today by saying, if this is of value to you and you like this, please like and subscribe and share this so that we can continue doing this. So we'll go to the live questions first. And the first one is from Gwen. Gwen says, "Hi, doctor. I will see you next Thursday." Oh, so you're my patient. Okay, Gwen. "And I'm 41 and just got labs back. My ferritin is at a 5. What can I do immediately to improve my level before our appointment?" So there is a Floradix Germany blood builder by Mega Foods. Well, this implies typically that you have low iron, Gwen. And I don't know if you eat, low ferritins imply the low iron, and we recommend eating real food instead of buying products. So eating more red meat, things like that would be the direction. Maybe getting some whole pasture, grass-fed raised liver capsules. You can go to these sites that are now up on the internet where you can get liver concentrate in a capsule, which is one of the best sources, plus many other valuable benefits from the liver dried concentrate extract in the capsules. We have here the natural form of iron called hemavite. And the standard recommendation is 1 or 2, 3 times a day. Iron is very hard unless it's naturally found, like in eating meat or liver. And so when you chelate it with a amino acid, then it's much more absorbable. Taking iron sulfate, 324 milligrams, or any other oxide salt of it, is very hard on the stomach and associated with a lot of symptoms. That's the direction I would go. And I would, if you have blood type A and you're eating richer proteins like meat, then you would have to use your digestive enzymes. But that's the direction I would head. Or get the liver capsules, beef liver. or get our Hemavite 1 or 2, 3 times a day. That's our general answer for low ferritins. Juan asked the question, hello, Dr. Ellithorpe. How would your office treat hypothyroidism? Iodine supplementation recommended, diet, meds not working for a coworker. I don't know what you mean by that, but the way we look at thyroid here is we see most of America is iodine deficient. And I would say the best book on this and the best YouTuber on this is the gentleman, Dr. David Brownstein, Brownstein, Dr. David Brownstein. He's from Michigan, and he is a family doctor, and he worked largely with the iodine issue, and now has written the book called Iodine. It's been around more than 20 years. And in general, what he found is what I found in my practice over the past 30 or so years, and that is when I do a 24-hour urine iodine challenge test. I would say close to 96, 97% of all my patients are iodine deficient. You have to have iodine in order to have the ability to produce iodine hormones, okay? And you have to have an enzyme to convert your T4. Thyroid comes with iodinated protein, and if you have 4 iodines on that molecule, it's a precursor. When you take one of the iodines off, T3, then you have the true iodine functional molecule. So you have to have good enzymes. You have to have enough iodine. So we usually begin by talking about gut health. Usually people with O-type blood is what I've seen in my practice over the many decades. O-type people are particularly harmed with the standard GMO, genetically modified grains. And these genetic modifications seem to inflame the gut lining on O-type blood. So if you eat breads or waffles or pancakes or cereals or buns or cakes or pasta, in other words, it's everywhere, then that grain genetic modification can over time inflame the lining of the gut. And with the leaky gut then and the micro injuries, this will inflame the body, and the autoimmune attack, the self-attack from your own immune system, very often hits the thyroid. So we will do autoimmune antibody screens along with checking for your T3, T4, thyroid, thyroglobulin antibodies, and thyroid peroxidase antibodies. Then we'll do the iodine challenge test and get a 24-hour urine collection of that. We'll teach you about healing your gut at the same time with other healthy lifestyles, and your blood type will find that out. And we'll talk about restoring these things as well. So that's our general approach to working people up for thyroid. One also goes on to ask what lab work would be recommended. Well, I just listed it all. It's the iodine challenge test. That's where we give you 50 milligrams of iodine, and you pee for 24 hours and collect it all. And then you send off an aliquot to the lab. And if you're peeing out the iodine, if you have enough, you should pee that salt out. But if you're holding on to the iodine and very little comes out or a significant reduction, then you are in need of iodine and your body holds on to it. So if you don't pee out, if in other words, if you release 90% of the 50 milligrams, then you're probably iodine sufficient. And I don't think I have but one in my memory of the last 40 some years I've been doing medicine. Then we'll do the free T3, the free T4, thyroid peroxidase antibodies and thyroglobulin antibodies and TSH, those kind of things. We can do a stool to look at the complete health of your gut, a complete digestive stool analysis, and so forth. Yeah, you're taking levothyroxine 75 micrograms. Doesn't seem to be working. Well, your levothyroxine is T4. It's the precursor. And if you're not able to enzymatically convert that into the real T3, which is leothreonine, T3, then yeah, it's not going to work for you. So you might need some enzymes and so forth. So we'll work with you on that if you were to come here, or a good functional doctor. Then there is Eli. Eli says, how would you break a 21-day fast? What to eat and what to avoid? Thank you, Dr. Rita. God bless you, and praise God for sending his son, Jesus Christ, to die for our sins. Amen. Yes, I thank him for paying for my sins, which are, I could never, ever. I am the worst and chief of sinners, like Paul said. Now, what would I do to break a fast? Well, I do it differently for different people. If you're a healthy gentleman, then, there isn't a lot that you have to worry about in breaking a fast. There's all kinds of nuances and clickbait on YouTube about fasting. But in reality, breaking a fast is just eating and eating anything. Now, if you're blood type A and it's harder to digest proteins in A type blood as a class, not all A's are equal, but in general, it's harder for them to digest it because they don't make enough digestive enzymes. I would encourage them to maybe use easier digestible proteins like fish, and buttered up salmon, something like that. They could try chicken soup and the pieces of the very moist chicken. But, in general, there shouldn't be a problem. If you're elderly, then I wouldn't really recommend a long day fast like that, 21 days. And I'm presuming that this is a water fast. You did a 3-week water fast. So in general, if you do a water fast, you should break that with a salt solution, like a chicken soup or a salted, well-cooked beef or chicken, roasted so it falls apart easily, and have plenty of salt on it, as well as something to drink alongside of it, plenty of herbal tea or something like that. There's really no magic. It's just to be cautious with the elderly, and I don't recommend a long fast for anyone who's elderly. I honestly think when I was doing 5-day water fasts, even in my starting my 70th birthday, that was probably too hard on me. I think the longest I would do a water fast for a person over 70 is maybe the most 3 days, and that's if they're in good shape. But breaking the fast is just eating it as tolerated. And I would say, if you're a blood type A, make sure you have enzymes, make sure you salt your food, make sure you roast it easily so you can digest it easily. And usually something like a beef stew or a chicken soup or salmon with lots of butter in it to help you get back to that. All right, so God bless you. All right, now let's go to some of our questions here on the email. We have from Helen, I am using your hormone replacement therapy protocol with 1 click of estradiol and 2 clicks of progesterone, days 1 through 15. I presume you're on the estradiol every day of the month, where the progesterone is just the 1st through the 15th. If I take the estradiol in the morning, I tend to have hot flashes at the wee hours of the morning, and it wakes me up. So I have started taking the estradiol in the afternoon, evening instead. Is that okay? Certainly, that's okay. That's very, very fine. Can I take both hormones at the same time? Yes, you may. I put my estradiol on my face, and then I put my progesterone on the inside of my wrists. I tend to do it in the morning because I sleep like a baby anyway. If I had any trouble with sleeping, I would probably try to always apply my progesterone towards the evening because it does help sleep, but I never have trouble sleeping. The estradiol, I like it on my face because it absorbs much better and it helps with wrinkles, elastin, and collagen. But yeah, you could take them both together at night, and you could take them both together in the daytime. It really doesn't matter, just that you're consistent. And have your doctor check the levels to when you're on the progesterone to get a progesterone level and your estradiol level, and then just see how you're doing, and be managed by them by checking it at least twice a year, something like that. But that's quite fine. Another live question comes in. Carolyn says, are 3-day fasts not recommended for people that suffer from migraines? No, I'm not as a general rule. In fact, migraine patients typically do better on a fast because it is felt very often that the leaky gut, the irritated lining of the gut, is also a source of inflammation triggers for migraines. So my experience clinically with my patients over decades is if they do a fast, their migraines improve, provided they drink enough water. Remember, I'm always saying you have to drink half your weight in ounces. So if you're a 200-pound man, you want to drink 100 ounces. If you're a 150-pound woman, you drink 75 ounces. I think it's smart if you're on a water fast to put salt, Celtic salt, sea salt, in your water a couple times a day, so you're getting enough minerals. But the other thing is, many patients who have migraines in my clinical practice, if they go on a carnivore diet for 3 months, and they're strict about it, no cheating. If they do a pure carnivore, meat, fish, chicken, turkey, beef, eggs, fish, lobster, crab, shrimp, all these things, butter, then salt, and drink their water so that they're only carnivore, eating animal products. That's another area in which I see general health, multiple symptoms improve, whether it's skin issues, arthritic issues, arthritis, migraine, any inflammatory situation improves on a gut healing carnivore diet, because the carnivore has the phospholipids and the protein in it that heal the lining of your gut, which is only one cell membrane thick. So when you're eating an all meat, fish, chicken, turkey, beef, egg diet, you're going to have a lot more material to repair your body with. And hence you'll feel more energy because you have less broken holes in your cells and you'll have more energy. Barbara, also on live, says, I love Tustin Longevity. Well, thank you, Barbara. My husband and many, many friends are waiting to get off the waiting list. Do you have an estimated time when you will be seeing new patients? Barbara, thank you so much for those kind words. It's in the Lord's hands. I'm willing and ready. We are having some changes in our providers here and some with our staff, so that we are not sure. I don't have your answer exactly. My desire is to work until I die every day, and to be full time. Maybe my body will start getting old, even though I feel great in my 70s. But as far as right now, I'm willing and ready. So my nurse, Terry, if you call the front office, 714-544-1521, and you ask my nurse, Terry, she'll have the update on that, and I'll ask her tomorrow. And if you ask me again next week, Barbara, I should have an answer for that. But I'm very happy to take new patients, yes, for sure. And if I can't see them, the Dr. Mitchell, PA Gonzalez, and PA Rusk, those three can also help with taking on new patients. And then we share the concepts and questions and management plans. So even if you're not specifically seeing me, Dr. Rusk and Dr. Gonzalez, PA Rusk, all are with me, and we talk all the time. And of course, Dr. Mitchell. Thank you for those kind words. Okay. And she that went on and said, I understand and pray for you and Tustin, thank you. And we are happy to see anyone. Well, great. So we are working very hard with these dear people here love the Lord and they love the patients. And they're very much interested in providing quality care and enough time to get what we need to get done. So it isn't the cash dollar that we need, although we have to make enough to pay our bills, of course. But anyway, thank you, Barbara. All right, let's go back to some of our email questions. Marilyn says, as basically a carnivore, I have been advised that my body pH is overly acidic. First off, I ask, who is telling you that? Likely contributing to excess mucus in my body. My question is, who is telling you that? And what papers are they quoting? Scientific papers or studies or clinical experience. Manifesting as nasal congestion. I have been advised to eat more fruits and vegetables, especially those higher in alkaline. I already take Juice Plus, but apparently I'm still too acidic. In general, if you drink half your weight in ounces of water, which is filtered, hopefully it's a healthy water. I have the Berkey filter here I got from Alex Jones InfoWars store. I shop there and I got my Berkey filter from him. And so I filter all my water and then I put my water in a swirl, a Mayu swirl, MAYU swirl.com. And that's where I get my water like this with the swirling water in it. And then I use that to pour into my glass. And this glass is what I drink out of with my straw, with my analemma wand in it, always structuring the water. So if you drink half your weight in ounces of water every day, if you exercise, try and aim for walking a good clip daily, trying to get to 8,000 steps a day, some say 10,000. Not eat late at night. Take enzymes. I'm going to sneeze here. Not to avoid your eating late at night. I want you to avoid eating late at night because then the food stagnates in your gut and petrifies. It moves so slowly the older you get. Advice is that if you're over 60, if you want to fight aging and breakdown and live longer, they're saying actually 3 o'clock should be the latest you eat. So eat your breakfast, eat your lunch. They suggest being more like a carnivore to get all that protein into your muscles. And then they suggest doing weightlifting 3 times a week as a minimum, and then stop eating at 3. So I'm going to say there is no hard science to make a statement that if you're acidic, you get mucus. I did a second doctorate in integrative medicine back in 1999 and 2000, 2001. And over those years, I heard the Ayurvedic medicine, the Bach remedies, the energy medicine, the vibrational medicine, everything. We went over everything, Eastern, Western medicine. And I appreciate the concept of bodily acidity. But in general, ladies and gentlemen, we are not eating well. We are eating pre-made foods, marketed foods, processed foods, foods that have a barcode on them, rather than eating living, fresh foods, real meat, real wild, prairie-raised, grass-fed, wild-caught fish, these kind of things, organic garden vegetables. And we don't have enough digestive enzymes as we age. So we're always bombarded with marketing to try and make food a money maker, to make food entertainment, to make this whole something that you have to play with, and entertain this whole all the time, every day, every time you open your mouth to eat, rather than eating it to maintain a strong body for the service of your, in my opinion, my worldview as a Christian is I stay healthy to serve my God, my husband and children, and my grandchildren, and my patients. That's why I try and do these things. So if you're eating and you're having various outside foods, don't kid yourself. You are inflaming yourself, and inflammation is cell damage. Cell damage is acidity. Find out your blood type, find a good functional doctor, have them do a complete digestive stool analysis, look at your complete digestion, look at your blood type, get your body mass, get your insulin, get your inflammation markers, sedimentation rate, highly sensitive C-reactive protein, fasting sugar, hemoglobin A1C, triglycerides on a lipid panel. And when those inflammation numbers are down and the triglycerides and the insulin are down, and all your labs are looking good, then you are by definition not acidic. You don't have a lot of cell damage, okay? That's the best way to look at it. And so, Marilyn, I would strongly encourage you to stick with a modest to larger protein in your diet as you age, because we are losing our muscle mass with age. And you have to help yourself with digestive enzymes to digest it, and you have to take systemic enzymes on an empty stomach once or twice a day to help clean away old cells that you just couldn't repair quickly enough. Get that water in, get a good night's sleep, have a good sleep hygiene. Don't be staying up late with your internet or laptop. And then exercise. And then you might take some base nutrients. I think taking a methylated B complex, taking vitamin D with K2, taking iodine every day, taking the digestive enzyme, and then empty stomach systemic enzymes, and a amino acid chelated multi-mineral that contains selenium and the magnesium and calcium and potassium, things like that. That's the bare minimum. I would also add to that parent essential oils, clinician's preference. It's the only oil that has emphasized the only two human fatty acids that we must have. These are essential for life, linoleic and alpha linoleic acid. So we have those here. All right, hopefully that helps you see how I look at acidity and not from carbs. If anything, we need more protein with aging. Damien says, are you recommending Juice Plus still? They have had computer digital transformation. It's hard to place an order and challenging for you to work with them. And you're thinking of switching to Nature's Balance, a veggie and juice capsule. What do you think? I don't like this digital. I'm in my 70s. It is hard for me to work with electronics. I don't have a social media. I'm bad with it, and so it's difficult with Juice Plus going into the younger digital world. So I agree. Nevertheless, regarding only the Juice Plus capsules, because I'm not endorsing their protein shakes or their protein bars or their whatever things they have in addition. They have some oils and others. The only thing I'm recognizing is the fruit, vegetable, and vineyard berry blend capsules, because that's where the research was done, and that is what set the standard. Now, my hope would be that this Nature's Balance, the juice and veggie capsules, is a good product, but where's their proof of science? Now, let me check something here. Is Nature's Balance one of the ones listed that has been bought out by pharmaceuticals? I do not see them on the list. So hopefully nature's balance. I have this list of these various companies that have been bought out by the pharmaceuticals, and so I don't trust their products anymore. But hopefully it is a good product. And we can test. So ask your doctor to do some nutrient testings. If you make the switch after about 6 months, have your body do a lab for spectrocell micronutrient analysis. Lena says, what is your opinion of Dr. Brian Ardis and using nicotine patches to relieve many symptoms from long COVID and many other things like arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis? Yes, there's a fascinating world of research in cell physiology regarding nicotinic and muscarinic receptors that are all over our body. So God didn't put these things into us and receptors on our bodies for foolish reasons. I'm not saying smoking cigarettes to get you nicotine is the correct way to do it. There are many other ways we get nicotine into our body, like potatoes have nicotine in them. So you can look up on the Google what foods have nicotine in it. And there's many. Most of the nightshades have a rich nicotine component. There is some science, I don't know if it's enough to make medical claims on, but there is some science that says this is protective against the ACE2 spike binding of the SARS-CoV-2 infection. The spike protein that is generated from that usually will go to the ACE2 receptors and then create problems. If you have the nicotine, apparently this blocks that. It can go into the receptor and not permanently damage it. And there is the notable fact that smokers during SARS-CoV-2 amazingly did very well, staying well throughout the entire years of SARS-CoV-2. And it was attributed, and that's where some of why the research was done about nicotine in the smokers and in some, I guess, the vaping solution as well. So I think it's something that we need to get corrupt scientists and corrupt bureaucrats in government out of the huge unaccounted coffers of money that go into research grants and have truly objective, so that just like the news media now has more of a representation of the population, many people who are doing news on their blogs are now in the press room daily. And so we are getting access to a wider spectrum of news. We need to have more people like I've published. I am a published nobody. I'm a general practitioner who got published on many things about cell membrane, energy, chronic fatigue, and heavy metal damage. So yes, we need money. And it was that held me back from things that I think would have been very beneficial. So hopefully with money, we can find out if nicotine has many other benefits that we are not aware of. All right, so some more live questions are coming in. Mariella says, how about the carnivore diet? Just the meats you mentioned and nothing else, right? Yes, correct. It'd be that's all you would eat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just meat. Yeah, you could keep it just meat if you wanted to. Meat is the most nutrient dense. Maybe liver organ meat would be the highest nutrient dense food you could ever consume, and it's totally sustainable. And we do have research that goes back to doctors who lived with the Inuit Indians in the early 20th century, around 1920. And they saw that the Inuit Indians were totally healthy people. So when the doctors came back to New York, they enrolled themselves into the hospital where they were like under police control, you might say, and were only fed meat. And they were there 6 months, and they tracked them and their health parameters. And these two physicians who allowed themselves to be, so to say, under food police control, being hospitalized on meat only, were tremendously healthy. So yeah, you could do that. Uh, Leah says, "Hi, Dr. Rita. Do you recommend digestive enzymes with betaine or without?" I recommend it with betaine hydrochloric acid, because to digest your food, you have to have stomach acid, and you have to have the protein digesting enzymes, the fat digesting enzymes, and the carbohydrate digesting enzymes. So yes. Uh, Perrier says, "I have a friend who has taken her nicotine in the form of a gum and tablets from a company called Lucy." Yeah, you can go to the pharmacy and get nicotine gum. I think it comes in a 2 milligram and a 4 milligram gum. And what I learned listening to Dr. Artis and to some of the researchers on it, it was around 6 milligrams a day of nicotine that had the threshold to be protective against these ACE2 attacking spike proteins. It was 6 milligrams a day. They also have over the counter patches that are nicotine patches. And I think there's 7 milligram and 14 milligram patches. So yeah, it's over the counter and you could give it a try. Uh, uh, the next question is from Jill. "I am reading Quench to learn more about hydration at the recommendations of P.A. Gonzalez. I have a few diverticulitis pockets in my sigmoid colon. Do you think it's okay for me to try the ground black chia seeds in my water to see if it helps my hydration?" The College of Gastroenterology, I think, has put out a statement paper that this fear of seeds, like in the tomato, the little tiny seeds that are in a tomato, other seeds, small seeds, are not the risk that they theorized, and this is more a myth. Therefore, chia seeds, I do not think, fall into any area of concern. Given that's being said, chia seeds turn into like a gel, which promote the stretch receptors to promote paralysis to move the stool forward. Now, it's not just enough to move the stool forward. You have to have the lining of the gut healed, and it's made of protein and fat. Essentially, it's structurally made of protein and fat, like this, like I always show on my pictures here, so that you can see your cell membrane is injured here by maybe some food lectin or heavy metals or bacteria or virus, and you have to eat enough protein and fat to fix it like this. And you have to do this every day of your life for every part of your body, every cell in your body. So you better eat enough protein and healthy fats. Now, if you take the chia seeds, it will promote the bulk and it will hold on to water to do that, but that's not necessarily water that your body is getting. I would like you to drink half your weight in ounces every day. So if you're 150, you need 75 ounces of water every day. I would like you not to eat late. I would like you to exercise. I would like you to be on a multi-mineral that has the magnesium, potassium, calcium, selenium, molybdenum, and so forth, amino acid chelated. So that's why we made the TLC multi-min. Take that to have the magnesium and help you with this peristalsis. Drink the water and eat the rich protein and fat in your diet to repair the lining. And then hopefully those diverticula can get reabsorbed and make a new wall there, because I have actually seen people have diverticula that improved and seem to go away, because you're replacing things every 7 years, all your soft tissues. So 7 years from now, you may not have that diverticula. All right, the next live question is black chia seeds in my water to see if it helps my hydration. Okay, so that we already covered that. All right, let's go back to a live, emailed in question. Jackie says, do you order HS-CRP, highly sensitive C-reactive protein? I've been doing that for decades and decades. I'm so happy to see many doctors growing up and learning this, learning about gut health, learning about probiotics. I'm so proud of the specialists starting to humble themselves and start incorporating this knowledge that has been provided by these good old doctors over the past 40, 50 years. It's a wonderful thing to see. Hopefully, it's humbling to them and they'll stay more open to doctors. I can't tell you how many decades I've been poo-pooed and put down by specialists, and now it's just a joy to see them adopting every single thing that I've been saying for 44 years. And my dad's before that was saying for 50, 60 of the past years. So praise the Lord. We give him all the glory, whether you learn early or you learn late. We thank God that people are opening their minds and humbling themselves to bring their bodies into obedience to do what's right, even the doctors. So yes, we do HSCRP. And how much importance do I place on the results? A lot. Highly sensitive C-reactive protein can go up as a phase 2 reactant, meaning inflammation. So if you had a bad cold, bad allergies hit you, it'll go up. If you have a virus, nausea and vomiting, it'll go up. But in general, when you're not ill or suffering from allergies or a cold, on a healthy day and you get your lab done, it should be 1 or less. Doctors say they accept 3 or less. So I'm happy if it's under 3. But anything over 3 is really just too much for me to tolerate. And that's number 1, people don't drink enough water. Number 2, they drink too much junk drink and sugar drinks and coffee lattes and diuretic things. Number 3, they don't exercise. They stay up too late. They don't have good night hygiene. They have too much light on. They don't exercise and get out in the morning and stand in the grass for 2 minutes and ground themselves, earthing. And let the infrared get into their body for 20, 30 minutes a day. They eat too late at night. Many, many, many things do this. High sugar content, all that, plus much more. So yeah, I think it's very, very important. Now, it can turn around right away once you start doing that things. God is so merciful, and we are so healing to see even these tremendous challenges improve. Krista says, hi, Dr. Rita. Would there be a test to see if all of my arteries are circulating well and clear to avoid a stroke or cardiac event? In general, there's no one test that I know of. You can get a nuclear perfusion scan of your heart. You can get a perfusion scan of your heart and lungs. They do that when they think you have a pulmonary embolism. You can get a perfusion scans of a limb. But as far as one whole test with imaging to actually see it, like the branches on a tree hanging down, no, I don't know of any one test. You would have to get these separate tests, and that's radiation, dye, exposure, and so forth. Then she goes on to say, is there a supplement protocol that helps with circulation? I appreciate your wisdom. Well, Krista, everything that I have, I got from people before me and from the Lord. So we just give thanks to people who share and give. That's the way my Father in heaven owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. So he meets all my needs. So I can give. Thank the Lord. Now, what would I do? Here it comes again, water, the number one thing. And I would consider getting the structured water with that analemma wand in there. See the wand I have in my water? Watch that video called Dr. Gerald Pollack, Pollack, for structured water. Because we are really solar panels. All of us we're just solar panels absorbing wavelengths. And what's absorbing it? The water. And the water is circulating around each membrane of our cell outside of the arteries and capillaries. And that creates a empowerment of the transmembrane potential. So you have more energy with every cell membrane reaction. So drinking healthy, filtered, structured water is essential for good circulation. You have to exercise. You have to do weight training and aerobic, and you just have to all the days of your life. Weight training 3 times a week, a brisk, 8,000 steps a day, or at least 3 or 4 days a week. Get a good night's sleep, shut the electronics off, get the light off, wake up with the sunrise, get your feet grounded, earthing, let the infrared get into your body for at least 20, 30 minutes outside every day. Take enzymes like little Pac-Men to go throughout all your body and all your capillaries to clean out debris. And then eat a low carb diet so you don't get sticky sugar blockage of the tiny, teensy tiny, less than a hair diameter capillary. Get that sugar down to healthy levels. Stop eating late. Try and avoid processed foods. Eat only real foods. And then use digestive enzymes as you get older, systemic enzymes. And then chelation therapy is the #1 microcirculation. I don't know, probably 200-300 I've done in my lifetime. I try and get about 10 done a year. And it gets my vitamin C, my EDTA chelation pulls out heavy metals, it grabs onto them, chelates them in Latin, grabs onto. So my aluminum is low, my lead is low, my uranium's low, all these wonderful things. So chelation would be another thing. Let's see, we're getting more live questions. And it says, Elizabeth says, is it okay to eat tilapia if it's not wild caught? I don't like anything that's not wild caught. Tilapia, I think, is fine. This is a type of fish. I don't like anything farmed. Where can you find wild caught tilapia? I don't know, Elizabeth. I know I've had it in the past, I'm sure. But I would go to the fishery, or, if you go on these things like Butcher Box or meriwetherfarms.com, MERI weather, WEATHER farms.com. This is a place that contracts with fisheries in Alaska that get wild caught salmon and other fish. They answer questions like that. So get on one of these good American, patriotic organizations trying to increase jobs and work for Americans and their lifestyles, and ask them, call them if they know how to get a hold of tilapia wild caught. That's what I would do anyway, but I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to reach out to eat tilapia. I'm proud. The biggest fish I have is, what is that called? Calamari. And really, it shouldn't be fried. It should be not fried anyway. And salmon. Those are my 2 big fish. Sea bass I like. Yeah. Then the next question is, I apologize if you've covered this recently. How do you compare Feinstein versus nanokinase? Somewhere I read Dr. Judy Mikovits say nano cleaves, which I assume is not good. No, I think natokinase is a systemic enzyme that is very safe and well studied in human clinical experience of clinicians. There are some publications on it. It's associated with reducing the spike protein side effects of clotting, blood clots, and so forth. So natokinase is good. Now, I don't know what fisetin, Fisetin. I've never heard of that. So, as usual, you patients keep old Dr. Ellithorpe on her toes Feinstein versus nattokinase. So you're going to have to come back next week, Perry, and let me talk about what that other item is, okay? Jackie says, when you take your enzymes on an empty stomach, can you take other supplements with, or should you wait? I take mine all together. So there are no studies on this. I just have my, 44 years of experience, and I've been, I basically remember even as a toddler or 4 years old, sitting in my father's house with my mother and my dad taking these big brown jars and blocking the light. And he would take a spatula and he would put a blop of powder on each of the children in our family, on our eggs or on our breakfast food. And these were vitamins that he gave us and enzymes and beef liver concentrate, and we had to eat it. So I don't take no from any patient. If I had to eat it, you have to eat it. And I remember my dad also, when I had my sons, he would take our multivitamins, and my little boys were toddlers, and they go, "We're not going to swallow it; it's too big." So Daddy took the pistol and mortise, and he ground it up, and he forced Talon and Brighton to eat their vitamins. So I never have sympathy for people who won't take their vitamins, and I take it all together. It's just fine that way. Jackie, Christina, hi, Dr. Rita. What do you do if you get bit by ticks? Well, my property is infested. Looking for natural options. Thank you. Right off the top of my head, Christina, I don't have an idea in my brain of what I would do. You would probably do well to have some Argentine silver. Peppermint oil, I think, is a repellent. Pepper with cinnamon. Some people take peppermint and cinnamon and white vinegar and some detergent in water and mix it all together as a spray. And then you have to watch those. If you had a tick bite, you have to make sure that you don't see this bullseye pattern for Lyme's disease. But don't become paranoid. If you had a issue like that and a concern, they could do the antibodies to Bordetella Lyme disease. And if it's positive, they would treat you with something like doxycycline for 6 months. And that would be typically handling it if you're normally healthy. So Jackie asks, my functional doctor just gave me Bioidon LSF for a tick bite. Bioidon is, Apex puts that out, I believe. And I really can't see why he gave Bioidon for it. I will have to look that up. So here's the number 2 item, Bioidon for tick bite. All right, so Jackie and Christina, you got to come back next week so I can, and Perrier, you got to come back so we talk about those things, the Feinstein, the tick bite, and what is Bioidon. Yeah. All right, and then here we'll go back and try and finish these up. Annika says, can ulcerative colitis be cured by functional integrative medicine? If so, what do you recommend? My statement is going to be, I think if you have a very good patient who is obedient, we get their blood type, we help them with a complete digestive stool, we do their food allergies, we give them a time-restricted eating, exercise, water, hydration. We put them on a rich protein diet to help repair all those injured, because all ulcerative colitis is basically this kind of an injury to the one cell lining of your gut. And you got to fix it like this with a lot of phospholipids and protein blobs. So a carnivore diet is in general the cure for ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, They might need SBI Protect and phospholipids. Those are the proteins, immunoglobulins, and fats that you saw. These are the fats, and then the protein globs in a powdered form. Probiotics, immunofood allergies would be all eliminated if you did a carnivore diet for 6 to 9 months. These in general are the way to heal, but I would be on iodine and I would be on the D. I'd be on the enzymes, especially if you're a blood type A, digestive support, and systemic for any type blood on an empty stomach twice a day, along with minerals and B complex, and then observe. And yes, I think it's very possible to do that. Garden Fairy says, not a question, just learned a very nice RN on another floor has pancreatic cancer with Mets to her liver, only 51, and has always been a healthy weight. I worry for all my co-workers who took COVID shots. Unfortunately, isn't that something? And I think there were 10 nurses on this one floor on the East Coast, a hospital, all required to take the shot. And 10 of them on the same ward got glioblastoma multiforme. So that's something that we have to call your congressman, 202-224-3121. And why? You get the switchboard and say, give me Congressman so-and-so or Senator so-and-so's office or Kennedy's HHS office or Bhattacharya, the HHS head. Just ask for who you want and leave your opinion and call them and call them. And even though you'll never probably get them on the phone, you're going to get a staff member pick up sometimes. Always be polite and respectful. Be clear and concise about what you want to convey and what you want controlled, investigated, or done. And it's very effective. That number is 202-224-3121. Now you know how often I call it. I know it like my own phone number. Pamela says, I have a neuroma in both feet, numb and tingling. Let's see, in both hands. I had success with prolozone for my carpal tunnel. Would prolozone be effective for these two conditions? Very likely it would as well. That's ozone therapy mixed with platelet-rich plasma. But again, all the healthy other things we do, a low-carb diet, systemic enzyme, drink enough water, exercise, all these things would certainly amplify the value of the injections. Harlow says, hello, Dr. Rita. What do you recommend for a man 70 years old, 3 stents, and calcification of the aorta? So he's got atherosclerotic vascular disease that has already been surgically intervened with three stents. He's off statins after 12 years, normal blood pressure, resting pulses in the 80s to 90s. Chelation, what supplements? God bless you. Well, again, we don't treat over the internet, but yeah, have a good functional doctor work with IV chelation. I would do it aggressively. I would get a coronary artery CT scan, work with a cardiologist. That way, if he does like 40 chelations and then you repeat the coronary artery CT scan in a year, you might actually see the number recede. He has to be on a carnivore diet to really make a difference. He has to be exercising, drinking water, and taking enzymes with K2 in it with the vitamin D. So those are some of the things. I would also be on Juice Plus. Vivian says, do you have any recommendations for treating autism in children? Well, in general, I'm very suspicious that these vaccinations have not been adequately tested for their safety. So that would be something I would demand informed consent from the pediatrician. Number 2, I would get a complete digestive stool analysis because oftentimes they have a gut that's inflamed, and just by putting them on gut healthy probiotics, rich healthy proteins, that's the place where SBI Protect and phospholipids would be very, very smart. Vitamin D, iodine, the probiotic, multi-mineral, all these things would be very good. Staying away from any sugars, so just rich protein is very, very beneficial. Remember, seizures, intractable seizures in childhood for the brain is what was treated with a ketogenic ketone producing diet. So you know that that will help the gut lining and the other aspects of the neurological damage. So yeah, find a good functional doctor that'll help you look down those venues. Amy said, I am 52 and have been experiencing monthly or more often bleeding, even though I should be fully menopausal. Pia Gonzalez was helping to address this, but I'm still bleeding. I take progesterone 100 milligram, the estradiol patch 0.05, and testosterone topical 2 clicks. I take leothreonine 5 micrograms and levothyroxine 50 micrograms and systemic enzymes. Amy, you're going to have to work with your doctor on that. Typically, I like to get the progesterone level at least above a 4, and I like the estradiol level to at least be around 50 to 75, because if it's too low, then you're going to have breakthrough bleeding. Of course, if it's too high and your progesterone's lower, then you can get breakthrough bleeding. So when you're starting to work with natural hormones, that means you're going to work with your doctor several times to find out dose and blood level. And after about 4 samples and stability, then we can do that. If you're still bleeding, though, you have to get a pelvic ultrasound and make sure you don't have a thickened uterine lining, things like that. Vivian says toenail fungus is getting worse. What will cure this? Well, there's oral antifungals that are very full of side effects and liver damage. You have to be on a very low carb diet. You have to have fasting blood sugars in the 70s, insulin under 4. You have to have triglycerides in the 50s or less, hemoglobin A1C 5.0 or less. You have to exercise, you have to take enzymes, and then I would use the Argentine silver and I would put that on my toes morning and evening, and I would put alcohol as a drying agent on my feet every day to start your day out, and work with a podiatrist and get these, because you feed fungus, you feed it with sugar, and that's how that story goes. And Barbara says, what treatment other than radiofrequency ablation relieves facet joint pain? Well, everything we've discussed here, systemic enzymes, maybe you need 5 or 8 twice a day on an empty stomach. The low carb, stop eating at 3, half your weight in ounces of water every day, filtered, and get the minerals, get iodine, get the vitamin D. Take the Juice Plus as a all-around antioxidant. You'll improve microcirculation to these areas with EDTA chelation and high-dose vitamin C. Those are the directions I would point out to you there, Barbara. And let's see. All right. Todd says, are Proven Med and Vascuzyme the same thing? Yeah, they're identical. It's just private labeling helps me to adjust the price lower to help my patients. Jill is a RX necessary for chelation therapy. Yes, you have to see a doctor for that. It is a prescription. Marella is, that happened to me, and I changed the progesterone from 200 to 100 and got better. Yes, and so what you have to do is find out what works for you, because some people have to go up higher, and work with your healthcare provider and try these different levels. And I can talk with Pia Gonzalez. Just ask her, give her your full name, and then she can talk to me, and I can pull up your chart and maybe help look at this with you. All right, I've gone over tonight, so I want to say thank you again. If this is of value, please hit the thumbs up sign and share with your family and friends. And we'll have another fun time next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and get on the newsletter tlcdoctors.com. God bless everyone. Okay, take care.